this is the state of my DJI FPV drone. Now, before we get into anything, I think the things that really protected it and are really important for this drone, three main things. The first one is all the features that it comes with, like the Find My Drone. That's super important in the maps to find it. I would have not found it without that. We'll go over the crash footage next, but the second most important thing I think was important is this this bumper guard right here. You know how police cars have those push guards in front? That's kind of what this is. And it protects any, hard impact like this. So if it were, and I believe one of the hard impacts was it impaling, just smashing into the ground like this. This prevented the entire camera from breaking, and it prevented any of the electronics from being damaged in here. Now, I don't think that's a guarantee, but it seems to be protected it really well here. This top part is supposed to be a little bit more forward, kind of like this, and it got pushed back. Oh, you can see I can kind of push it back like that. It got pushed back so hard, and I think that's because there was a top impact. I believe it might have flipped over, and it would. I think what happened is it slammed into the ground, and then it kind of slammed back the other way. But you can see there's this hard impact right here. And I think it would have been a lot worse if this was not here. The last thing is the arm braces. I can't say for certain that they helped, but I really feel like they did, especially with this one. This motor, everything looks like it took the most damage, and I feel like the arm braces are what saved it. Again, can't be sure. I just know for sure the safety features from the drone helped it, and I know that this push guard right here helped it. Very important with this push guard. It's my favorite thing. Now I'm going to get to cleaning it, but that's after we go over the crash footage. So doing that right now. First thing I'm going to do is remove the blades. This one and this one and this one still seem to be usable. From the impact you saw in the video, the drone hit the tree like this. So the tree is on this side, the drone hit the tree like this. And that's why I think this side took more of the damage. I'm not even gonna try to bend this back. I feel like that is really bent this way. Like, look at this. If I try to bend it back, it feels like it's gonna snap. It is just bent that way. So those are all the blades removed. We can take a look at the individual motors. Nothing looks too bad with this motor. Everything looks fine. Obviously we can't, just by looking at it, we can't determine the extent of the damage. This one looks fine, nothing wrong here. This one looks fine as well. And now this one. This is, I believed, before I even hit the start-stop button, because I was in manual mode, I believe the motor sensed an error or something because of the branch that was wrapped around it. And that's what stopped it, and it was on this motor. So we'll see if the motor protected itself or if I need a new one, but it feels just fine. Now there is some rattling inside of here sometimes, so I'm a little bit scared if something broke off. But now we're going to take a screwdriver and we're going to remove this canopy. And actually I'm going to replace this one with the green canopy since I'm taking it off anyways, and I've always wanted to try it. And this camera, it tilts up just fine like this. I hope it's just something misaligned and not broken though, because when you tilt it down, there is resistance. It won't tilt down without hitting something. So we'll see how that works. All right, it's been a second, but I got the next canopy. I got some tools and I got some cleaning supplies. I have this water. It's just water inside of here with a little dropper. And I have a towel, a little bowl, and a microfiber cloth. So we'll try to clean everything now. The first thing that I'm going to do is remove this poor bumper guard, and I'm gonna wash it off and dry it and clean it and try to make sure everything's okay with it. I'll try to link this bumper guard in the description below. I got it off Amazon below that like button. Pulling this off, it does not feel amazing. There is a little bit of dirt that's coming off, and when I unscrew that first screw, the plastic frame just pushed it off. Like, it does not even want to be in there. I don't know if you can see this very well, but on right here, the plastic housing is actually cracked. And this next side, the way you remove this is there's 4 screws right here. That's how you install and remove it. I can't even get my bit into this one very well because there's dirt inside of it. I do know that there is some dirt inside of the canopy. It is supposed to be a clear canopy, and if you look at it now, which we'll show in a second once I remove this screw, It's not as clear. That's still in there right now, but on the side it is very much dirty and brown. So I'm gonna clean that, but I'm still gonna use the green canopy. Oh man, this does not look great. If you look at this screw, you can see it is quite the bent one. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off camera. It's just water and drying it, and then we'll get back to the rest of this drone. It doesn't have the hitting of the camera anymore, and I believe that's just because of this frame here that popped out. Another thing that we should do before we start taking it apart is remove the battery. Just unplug the battery. There is some dirt, or mostly grass, just inside of here. You can see the battery still has some charge. You could probably take a cloth and clean it out, but I wouldn't be too worried about this. The sensors look okay. Everything looks good. There's no cracks in the arms. I already checked everything. All the light caps are still there. You want to make sure all of that is good. Everything's great. And there is, however, a leaf stuck in here. So I'm going to take my tool, try to pull that out. That should actually come out when the canopy comes. So I'm back. It looks as good as new, which is pretty great. I'm going to tighten these once I get back on the drone, but now I'm going to take this apart. So I'm going to skip me doing it because it's rather long, and something actually just came off the drone. What is this? This does not look good. I have no clue what this is, but it is a little golden piece right here that I just dropped. Anyways, back to the canopy. We have these two screws right here. We had those 4 screws that we already unscrewed, and then we have these 2 screws on the other side. And if you're wondering why I am using water instead of alcohol, it's because I know alcohol and water and plastic don't mix very well. So I'm trying to refrain from that when I'm cleaning this off. When I get to the electronics though, if they are dirty and I do need to give it a wipe down, I have a microfiber cloth, which I'm going to have some isopropyl alcohol on to help clean that. So now all we need to do is remove the canopy. So to remove the canopy, all you need to do is really pop it off. There's tabs underneath that are holding it in place, and you kind of just need to pull it off. You can see that there's one clip right here that I've removed. There's going to be more. There's some on the side right there. You can just pull it off. Can be firm, but I'm going to also try to be a little bit gentle with it. And with some prying on this side, I've fully pulled off this side. I'm going to go to the other side and unclip this bottom part as well. So I'm going to take my fingers and put them in here and kind of pull out like this. And it pops that clip off. Now, these are plastic, so hopefully you don't do it too much. It might break them. I do think these canopies cost like $15 to replace them each. And now we're just going to remove this. And it looks like it removes the camera housing as well, because it is attached on here with it. So we're going to take a look at this whole unit together. It looks just like this. Now we can take a look at the internals. And the internals look like this. Now I'm going to try to find where that part broke off. There is a leaf right here. Now I can't see where it broke off from. I do see that we have our SD card slot down here. Our camera is right here. It looks fine. It's able to move around now. I guess it was just because one of the plastic pieces were blocking it. The wires look good. Everything here looks pretty good. Just looks really dirty. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little vacuum cleaner that I have, which also acts as a blower. I'm gonna try to blow some stuff off, and then I'm gonna wipe it down as well. I would personally recommend doing that outside, which is what I did, so that you don't get a lot of dust and debris. I actually think it looks cooler like this, but I know that this would be very bad to leave it like this. So I don't think we need any like alcohol or anything, so I'll just take my microfiber and kind of wipe this down. For this back end, nothing alcohol related is used, just little wiping it off, and it should be good. Now when it comes to the camera itself, I will be wiping this down with a little bit of rubbing alcohol as well. I just don't want anything, any dirt or anything on the camera lens. I want to make sure it's clean. I'm going to try a little bit of water first, so that way it's moist. Now, the difference between this dropper and just dabbing it in water is I can control the little bit of water that comes out. And this is just enough to lift off some of that dirt, which is what I want to do. So now that that's dirty, I'll go to another part of the microfiber and I'll do another dab of water right there. Very little because, again, it's water and electronics. Now there's still some dirt gunked up on the side, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my microfiber cloth right here, and I'm going to take this and try to use this to kind of eat away at the dirt on the very edge. Not on the camera, but around the camera housing. Now this is the state of the camera. It could look a little bit better. It's still dirty. It actually looks worse in person than it does on camera. It doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty clean though, so I'm gonna just leave it like this and start putting everything back together. The first thing I'm gonna do is take our old canopy. I'm gonna pop off this frame. Now I don't want dirt getting sucked in here, so I'm gonna clean this as well. We don't need a microfiber for this. I'm just going to use a damp towel and I'm going to wipe this down. And I just realized something. This I thought was a vent. I thought it would go on the camera like this, right? Which is what it does. And it's a vent. I thought it was a vent to go in here, right? That would make sense for the airflow to go like this, but it's completely blocked off. I don't know if this is just something with my drone, but I always thought that was a vent. Now I've looked at the housing right here. There seems to be 2 weak points, but no cracks. It looks pretty good, so we're gonna put this back on, but that's after the canopy. For the canopy, as we know, I'm going with the green one this time. There are these clips, just like the last one, that you're gonna want to fit in here. You can see I've already done it on this side. And to put this in, I found out that it's easiest to do the back one first. So this single tab right here. We're gonna put the single tab in, and then these 2 tabs, we're just going to push down and in. You wanna be careful because they are plastic, and it is slightly brittle plastic. And another important thing is to make sure that your housing is completely lined up. This side was not aligned with the screw at all, so I really just pushed it down, and that should make it easier for this side to go in. So first we're going to do the back. I'll just slide it forward with my thumb and allow it to just sit in there, kind of like that. Then I'll push it in, and I'm going to want to push these 2 in now as well. And you can use your fingernails, and you're just going to want to push it in like that. Push that in. The screw holes, once they're lined up, that's about it. Now, I think I know what broke off. If we re-examine this, we can see that this canopy right here is, I don't know if it's usable anymore. The canopy is completely shattered right here. The golden part that I figured out, there's supposed to be this golden part where the screws go in, and it's missing here, and it's missing here. I think one got lost to the tree wherever I crashed it in. We can see from this one though, it has them. These 2, oh, I guess these ones don't have it. So only the top one is missing it. So now we're gonna put everything back together. We're gonna take our front fascia and we're just going to place it over. Now there are these 2 clips on top like this. So I think the easiest way to do this is to be from the top. There's a clip right here as well. So you're gonna want to clip up and you're gonna push it in like that. Pretty simple. And then you're gonna want to push down on the lower bits. There's 2 clips right here as well. You're gonna want to make sure that these slide in into the canopy as well. And there's also 2 clips on this side that need to go into the canopy. You can see that there are 2 holes right here in the canopy, 2 little slots, and that should go in there. Now, taking a closer look at this, I can see that this is broken because it's not going in there. You can see that that's not supposed to be bent out like how it is. I'm holding it straight, and it's not supposed to be bent. What we can do is try to bend it back. And that was this little weak point that I was talking about right here. So we'll try to bend it back, and sketchy, but it does bend back. Now we can take this same method. We're gonna just tilt it up like this, and then place it down on those 2 slots. We are gonna want to make sure that this side slots in first, since it's our problem side. So this side slots in, that side slots in, and it slots in on the bottom right here. And everything looks good. So now we can take this front part and start screwing it in, and we can also screw in the sides. Don't mind the humidifier, but here is the drone and it is fixed. So I went with a red bumper guard this time. It's solid, just the same. It's metal, it's very nice. Green canopy is on, everything is good. The motor spins, everything works very well. It flies very good. So in the end, nothing was broken, but the black bumper guard did have a problem. So the reason why we have a red one, not a black one, is because the black one would not fit on here correctly. And that's because I guess I hit so hard, did its job very well, but it like bent this part inwards. So it did not properly align with the screw holes, and I didn't feel comfortable putting that back on, like stretching it out, stretching out the metal and stretching out the plastic. But this is it. It works, and it flies, and it's great, and I love it. And it's back in the air.